competitively in the collegiate realm. And we're actually in game. That's good.
And yeah, just being a successful team is just a holistic effort. You got to get the team involved, you got to get the organization involved, and you got to get the school involved too. And nothing brings together a school like a victory, like a nice trophy to put on the shelves. And these two teams, Depaul and UC Davis, they're looking for right now.
Yeah, and the Swain is going to be banned out. That's actually a very common ban right now from every realm of play, collegiate and professional play. In fact, if you don't see them ban it out in professional, it's usually first picked and then they beat TSM, and that's just how the story goes, unfortunately. But we're also going to see a Kaisa.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was just the Swain, but yeah,
no, it was definitely not.
Everything coming together. Trust me, I'm very happy to see not taking home another championship, but
yeah, we're not going to talk too much about that because you're going to hurt my feelings. but Caitlyn also banned out.
The rest of us feel.
Yeah, Kaisa banned out as well. That's a big contention. Kaisa did get a buff, so that's very nice. We're going to see what they pick out next year.
Kaisa is really hanging around the top tier of ADC right now just because of how much snowballing potential she does have. On 8.6, they brought her back up, gave her even more damage, especially on that Q. So yeah, if you start winning that lane, Kaisa just doesn't stop because you start a fight and she just kills everyone.
Yeah, she's able to chase with the ultimate. It's advantageous if you use it at the proper time. Of course, it can be a suicide dive as well, but we don't expect that kind of play from the competitive side of League of Legends. So Kaisa being able to chase down, do very well. A lot of ADC focus, actually. Caitlyn, Jinx, Kaisa, and Xayah both banned out. We're going to see what Cub here from Depaul was able to pick up first. It's going to be the top laner for Depaul, but you don't usually pick the top laner first. Sometimes you
with the ADC pool already getting clamped down by 4 positions, I wouldn't be shocked to see an early ADC pick here. Or the jungle, about to say, Zach and Sejuani are both still on the board. Even Skarner too, which has started to fall a little bit out of priority now that his E stun got reduced in duration. It's still really good. You still can just walk up, press R on somebody and kill them. So curious to see if that's exactly how Davis wants to play it.
Yeah, of course you do pick the Predator, and a lot of times Skarners will build the Righteous Glory as well, so just being able to just get a huge burst of speed out of nowhere, and sometimes it's hard to react to, but we have an Ezreal locked in for Uber Sorcerer over on the side of UC Davis, so going to stay safe, probably anticipating, or pick that in anticipation of the Zac, or at least in response to the Zac, I should say, knowing that, and of course, Zac does have a very long-range engage, and Ezreal, very safe ADC.
Yeah, already picking the Ezreal up this early in rotation is a little bit interesting. They probably could have used that to get a more priority pick. Yeah, that's the one I really expected coming out there. Skarner coming through in the rotation. Probably just because Melis wants to get his champion. So all good and good there. But the Ezreal pick already definitely signals a very defensive style bot lane. You don't see many bottom lanes really try to convert any kind of gold lead with Ezreal. It's great because it also allows the support to come around and it gives more priority towards the top side of the map. So I mean, still a lot of things open, but maybe showing a little bit too much here in just that first rotation.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the, yeah, of course, Skarner picked up as well. Like you said, priority pick, even though they did get the stun reduced, it's still a huge priority pick. But Misfortune being locked in right now on the side of Depaul, and that's just a big power pick on the bot side. A lot of power being able to be dished out. But a Galio being locked in. So that is their mid lane already picked. Galio, a big pick in the meta.
Okay, so already with the Galio pick as well, with the Ezreal on the other side of the map, that puts so much priority now on this top lane. So whoever really gets the counter pick, whoever gets the better selection up here is going to have a huge advantage because Ezreal not having to be cared for means you don't really have to worry about somebody diving in. Support can go roam up. And then even going on through, Galio most likely going to the mid lane here unless he is flexing his top lane, unless he's flexed into support. With the ultimate range on the top side, I mean, he's not going to get Ezreal, so top lane, Darius is still open. A lot of hyper carries are still open up there.
Yeah, very much so as we get into the second ban phase, as Bard is locked out from Ethan over on Depaul. He's not going to be able to pick that one up, so we may be focusing a little bit more on the bot side. We're going to see if Depaul answers back on the bot side as well. Considering the ADC is already picked up, you're just blocking out supports now at this point, which I don't really see too many bans focus on that. Camille, mentioned earlier, contested pick still in the top side. They don't want to deal with that one over on the side of Depaul.
No, most certainly not. And I mean, between Skarner and any top lane with CC, that's just so much lockdown on that top side. And it's just really hard to play around when you have to have that breathing down your neck. Once again, Melis is going to be able just to hold on to the top side as long as you want. The Poppy Man definitely stands out a little bit to me. She's been coming back in the meta slightly as of late, but I mean, unless there's going to be a Gnar pickup here on the side of Davis, I don't really see too much warrant for that one.
Yeah, we're going to see what is going to be banned out last by Depaul. Yeah, Poppy, that one has been showing up just a little bit, like you said, but not too much. Cho'Gath being the last one banned out, so a lot of focus on the top side. Only one ban on the bot side for the Bard. You have to wonder if that's actually worth it, but we're going to see how that one turns out. A lot of selection for the supports. It's only one of them is actually taken out, unless, of course, you do say Galio can flex over to support, but the Janna, of course, that would... Not a bad pickup in his Zach.
Yeah, there should literally never be a time where Foz and Gentle should ever be in trouble. It's Ezreal plus Janna, the little safest lane possible. Maybe maybe short of just swapping out the Janna for a Tom Kench. Once again, that lane should just never die. And that still just gives even more priority towards that top side of the map.
Volibear.
The top lane volley.
It's been a while for that one.
Darius. Give me the Darius.
Yeah, Darius. At this point, I'd be glad to see Garen. I know that's not really a meta thing, but, you know, Volibear top lane, who knows at this point. But Darius would be a big pick. That one's been
Darius is big. Yeah. Even Renekton could be coming out, especially with press the attack. He does so much damage in that early game, and there it is.
Look at the profit. We see Darius in the top side, Uber Sorcerer taking that one over for Depaul. No, I'm sorry, UC Davis, University of California Davis. So they have a big tanky front line over on UC Davis. They do have the Skarner, Darius, and of course Ryze gets tanky in his own right with the shields as well. Not to mention, again, bot lane being the safest lane you can have.
He's defensive. I wouldn't call him a front line, but your point does stand. Between Darius and Skarner, there's so much there. But just look at the side right now for Depaul, unless this is going to be a very cheesy style Volibear build, not like some sort of AP. I mean, I know that the task is that I know we have the April Fool's task, which is like, oh, take so much magic damage on Volibear. But realistically, the only damage dealer on that team is Misfortune. And she has a lot of defenses, but if Misfortune does not win this game, there's just nobody else.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Galio, of course, does do damage, especially if you build up the full AP, but still, I mean, using your hero's entrance on a full AP Galio, of course, that does leave you very vulnerable to enemy attack. So yeah, biggest damage point, definitely Misfortune. Volibear, early on, he does do a lot of damage with his bite, but so does Darius. So that can go either way. And as I do give it to Darius, he does have the sustain to help him out, and not to mention the chase. And always he has once he hit level 6, he has a lot better of an execute than Volibear through his bite. So that is going to be interesting how Depaul is able to deploy this sort of comp over onto the very safe but tanky UC Davis.
Yeah, and the thing with the comps coming out of Davis is that it does wait to scale quite a bit. Darius probably being the earliest member of that competition as far as item spikes goes. And even he's going to be shut down pretty hard once level 6 does come about. So when you're really looking at keys to victory here, first one for me, for Depaul, has to be Raijin. He has to be able, for Rio, to just roam around, use that ultimate, go deny someplace topside. Because if they don't, they are relying solely on Mr. Hyde to carry them out throughout the rest of this game. If they can get to a point where they deny Darius a good early to mid game, and Ryze and Ezreal are still scaling up, Misfortune is plenty enough damage, but you just got to keep those factors in check.
Yeah, it is hard because she isn't a mobile champion, but at the same time, well, you do have Realm Ward from Ryze, now I think about it, to actually get somebody back there, but you're going to have to deal with a lot from Depaul. Of course, you do have Abyssal Voyage. You can actually use that for a Volibear, so everybody can dive in except for Misfortune. So it's going to be up to Depaul to really play around those ultimates and make sure that Mr. Hyde is also going to stay alive, because everyone dives. They can just Realm Warp right behind Misfortune, Mr. Hyde, and absolutely destroy him.
I wouldn't put money on seeing a Realm Warp going that far, as I'm pretty sure that there are more than enough defensive options between the Galio, between the Tom Kench, but your point certainly still stands. If there's an overextension, you never know when a Darius or a Skarner are going to pop out Speed of Light, Janna builds, Shirley's Revere. Everyone has like 700 movement speed, runs down the Misfortune. So certainly a lot of backlining options available for each side. And it's honestly just going to come down to who pulls the trigger first. Because once again, Skarner, Darius versus basically everyone else on the side of Depaul. Everyone can engage this fight. Who takes it first?
Yeah, very much so. We are going to find that out in just a moment as we get onto the Rift. Spectator delay is counting down. My name is Joshua Fekesquest. I am here with Returned. I want to give a shout out to our plugs, our social media plugs. Type !Discord in the chat to join our Discord community. I believe we actually had a community game last Friday. Of course, we have community games for CSGO, StarCraft 2, Dota, and League of Legends. So join us there and get on the fun. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/CStarLeague. Or if you just want strictly collegiate League of Legends material, you can go to twitter.com/CSLLOL. Of course, you can follow us underneath our names here. Mine's Fekes. I believe yours is LOL_return. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
There you go. So you can also follow us there. You can also follow our Facebook at facebook.com/CStarLeague. And of course, if you miss any of the action over the past week or any of the talk shows, Ward Up, Quad, any of the games that you wanted to check out, the semifinals, anything like that, you can go over to our YouTube at youtube.com/CStarLeague. Check out our VODs. And yeah, check those out because, I mean, there's a lot of valuable information there, of course. And I also want to give a shout out to Twitch. They have been here helping grow the collegiate esports community for years and still continuing to do that. So thank you very much, Twitch. You can actually go follow them on twitter.com/Twitch and facebook.com/Twitch as we load into this game. Best of 3 Teemo Cup final. This is going to be interesting. UC Davis versus Depaul. So yeah, comp versus comp. What are you expecting here, man?
I think this match probably goes in favor for UC Davis just because of how many options they've allowed themselves. DePaul certainly has a lot of room for actually going positive, but it all has to follow a sequence of events. Level 6 has to happen. Rio needs to help shut out Uber Sorcerer on the top side, and then Mr. Hyde and Ethan need to have a dominant performance on this bottom lane. If one of those things start to go wrong, there's not too much they can fall back on. I mean, they'll always have the godlike combo between Rio, between Reaper, but that just gets harder and harder to go as this game goes further, and there's so many disengage options on the side of UC Davis that, honestly, they're really just looking forward to Paul to screw up here.
Yeah, very much so. As we get into game, we're going to see who screws up first. Never want to really go with that mindset if you're a team, of course, but you do want to take advantage of the missteps of your enemy. We're going to see who missteps first as we see line of scrimmage being drawn. Maybe seeing a first blood coming out early if someone moves up into the brush onto the side of UC Davis.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect too much here early as both junglers are pretty active in the early mid stages of the game, but none of them are really invade style unless Melos want to go super ham, grab one of those shrines and just go to town on Reaper's jungle here. But lacking that, I think it's just going to be a pretty nice, pretty even, mimicking the jungle. Melos definitely wants to hit 6. Reaper probably wants to hit at least level 4 before he goes for any true invades, any true ganks. But yeah, the speed of this game is going to be very highly dictated by 2 very aggressively ganking junglers.
Yeah, of course, those junglers being Zach and Skarner. We talked about them earlier. Even though Skarner did get a little bit of a nerf, it's not enough to really shut him down as far as the meta is concerned. Of course, Sejuani was also up. We did not see that one come up, which is very interesting, but opting for Skarner on the side of UC Davis. Melos may find a little bit more comfort into that champion. And the play style, of course, there are advantages to both of them, but gonna go with the Skarner, have those advantages in the jungle and the river with those shrines. Gonna see if they can take advantage of that one, especially when Dragon comes up. Possibly see a gank on the bot side and rotation up there. That would give, of course, Melos that little bit of advantage with those shrines.
And really the jungle pool, especially when you're looking at the generic tanks you can teamfight with, seem to be a little bit of flavor of the month. It used to be Sejuani, J4, now it is Zach plus Skarner, and all of them are still viable, but these two just give you the most bang for the buck right now, and not really that hard to pick up. So a lot of teams have been finding a lot of comfort just slotting those in. And the best thing is it denies away from so many of these aggressive counter jungling picks, like Nidalee, like even Olaf to some extent, that you can kind of just play the game at your own pace and you don't have to worry about anything breaking open too insanely quickly.
Yeah, very much so. Kind of glad we didn't see an Olaf. I'm kind of tired of seeing that champion because it does give me rage nightmares in my solo queue games, but we'll be not dealing with that one this time around, though we do maybe see a little bit of contention in the jungle as Melos and Reaper spotted each other out. Reaper is actually going to be stunned up. Melos going to go in onto him. Of course, Reaper does have his passive, his cell division, but is he going to be able to proc it? He has the red buff on him. He actually procs it, so that is going to be a big win for Melos on the side of UC Davis.
And the fact that he's able to catch out Reaper at level 2 while he is so low onto the wolves is just going to slow down his clear even further. And this does give Melos that kind of front foot. It does give him that little extra bit of vision advantage. And on top of that, being able to establish these wards this deep into his topside jungle means that Melos is going to be able to protect the rest of his side of UC Davis, to protect his top laner, protect his mid laner, who are having very solid pushing lanes right now, and make sure they don't get ganked.
Yeah, very much so. Not to mention that does deny Reaper the ability to tower dive at early levels like we do see every now and then with the taking advantage of the cell division from Zach. So that is going to be completely denied. Very good play by Melos, but we have a flash and an engage on the top side. Uber Sorcerer getting aggressive and getting the first blood as a result underneath Cub's tower.
Yeah, you need to respect
all
the damage that comes out of Conqueror. You get the bonus true damage. And Volibear just stays in lane, Uber Sorcerer, he takes advantage, and just like that, that's the first kill. And look at the CS game as well. Uber is just controlling this topside with an iron fist.
Yeah, very much so. And I do apologize, that is Shy Cub. I forgot that Depaul was actually around Chicago area, so my bad. There's Shy Cub on the top side. He did get first blood, and yeah, huge lead for Uber Sorcerer. Looking very good on the top side for UC Davis. We're seeing why we don't see a Volibear on the top side that often. He has a lot of trouble farming. He is a very, the definition of melee champion farming.
Yeah.
Farm in the top side.
The issue with him in this game, and the benefit of just having Volibear in general, is Fa is flash forward.
Yeah, flash for flash. Fa's giving up for his flash for Ethan, or vice versa. Either way, Ethan winning the trade on that one. You always want the flash out of the ADC over the support, but of course Ezreal, he still has his arcane shift and his heal.
Yeah, going back to this Darius in the top lane, the benefit with Volibear, either in the top lane or in the jungle, is he can engage and he can stay in fights for a long time. Unfortunately, to a Darius, he likes to engage and he likes to stay in fights for a long time. So this is obviously not a match we see too often here, but this is a fairly decent counter. Volibear, sure, he can get in, he can regen up through, but you are not going to deny Uber Sorcerer from getting onto 5 stacks with the bleed, with the ultimates, and I do not even want to think about what these team fights look like if Uber Sorcerer is not dealt with immediately.
Yeah, and also you have to think, Uber Sorcerer on Darius, he has sustain every time his Q is up. Shy Cub, he only has it with his passive, and it is down now. It has a little bit of a cooldown once you get a low health, so he's also going to be hurting in that regard as well. So needs to be careful. He's still getting almost double in his CS by Uber Sorcerer. He's doing a great job controlling this wave, freezing it at his turret. So Shy Cub has to overstep just a little bit, and every time he does, going to throw a decimate right in the face of Shy Cub.
Yeah, this would be this top lane matchup would be a slight loss for Shy Cub if it wasn't for that death. That death puts it over the edge and just hard puts it in favor for Uber Sorcerer, because that is now a considerable chunk of gold. Nearly 1,000 in favor for Uber Sorcerer, but Forrest, he needs to be careful.
Yeah, he does. He's going to get ganked on, but he actually blows his flash immediately. Roots down Ryu underneath the turret. Takes a couple turret shots. Almost goes down. Is he going to go after this one? There's the Realm Warp. He's going to try to go behind him. Reaper's still there. Ryu flashes away, so he's going to stay safe, but flash for flash still. Melos there. He doesn't have level 6, so not going to put anyone on a stinger, and that is going to be a flash for flash. Nice counter by Forrest Hermit.
Yeah, great flash out of the way, making sure he gets out of that situation with absolutely everything he holds near and dear, but also being able to pull out the flash away from Ryu. I mean, keep in mind, this is a Predator Skarner. If you are in a lane without a flash, you might just be dead the second he shows up, so certainly opens up the door for a lot more plays, but most importantly, it prevents Ryu from going forward and making that big roam play for another 2 to 3 minutes, so just great work all around. And the only lane that's actually losing here from Davis is Volley, but with the Cole, only 10 CS down, Voz is still doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Of course, the power advantage is on Mr. Hyde, and that's just the natural building path of a Misfortune compared to an Ezreal. You're going to get that BF sword, and of course the Tear of the Goddess doesn't add any to your offensive stats. So their power is there, and we see that being pressured quite a bit. But yeah, Foz, he's not doing too bad given the situation. There's no ganks on the bot side either. Mr. Hyde and Ethan have been pushed up quite a bit, so we may be seeing some focus there now that Melos is at level 6, or hitting level 6 pretty soon after he gets his red buff, I believe. Maybe seeing a little bit more focus, but we have Engage on the top side here as we do see an ultimate coming out from Shy Cub. Throws Uber Sorcerer underneath the turret, takes a shot, but he's just going to back up, play it cool, and that is an ultimate down for Shy Cub.
Yeah, and here's actually a part that's starting to interest me a little bit. Mr. Hyde did pick up the BF sword first. That does most likely mean he's going for the sneaky-esque grab the triple crit item, then go for a little bit of lethality, but that just means even more scaling time. The good switch out with this is it's a less reliant on getting super far ahead like you would with lethality, just being able to nuke out all the squishy members at the start of a fight. And it's going to be a little bit more consistent in those mid to late game team fights, but I mean, honestly, if Mr. Hype gets to the point where he's getting those 3 items and they don't have that hard of a lead, is it even going to be enough?
That is something we're going to have to find out momentarily, as we're still at 8.5 minutes. It is going to be on the back of Mr. Hyde, so that's a story that we are going to be looking at this entire game as a big damage dealer for Depaul. And there, yeah, Reaper, he's going to back off a little bit too underneath the turret of Foz and Gentlewoman. Doesn't want to dive too much. I believe his cell division is back up now, so he can dive if he wants to, but doesn't have Let's Bounce, so there's really no advantage. Mr. Hyde getting aggressive. Doesn't have the mana, I don't believe, for his bullet time, so not going to be throwing that one down. Of course, Foz has quite a bit of protection underneath him as well with the Janna and the heal. They're actually just going to go back as the Gentlewoman took quite a bit of damage. So going to go back, heal up, get the items.
This is a very dangerous situation, not only on bot side, but the top side as well.
Top side, bringing it back in. There's the ultimate. It's going to be a kill for Uber Sorcerer, executing Shy Cub even through the passive.
Yeah, and this is an incredibly dangerous situation on the bottom side. Because Foz decided to step up and fight, loses the trade, now they have absolutely no ability to control this bot side wave. Reaper is here too. I mean, this is great work on the top side of Uber Sorcerer, but that might actually be the last nail in the coffin for this bot lane tower. Maybe Ultimate comes out.
Reaper on the bot side. There's actually the kill. Ethan throwing down the ignite onto Foz, so that is a nice dive on the bot side. 2 kills over on the side of Depaul, taking out the bot side. They are going to get this turret as well.
Yeah, Forrest is starting to roam down, but keep in mind that is a Galio in the mid lane. He can roam very, very well.
Oh, the Let's Bounce actually disrupting the Impale. Very nice. And here comes Hero's entrance by Ryu, and that is going to mean Melos. He's going to be eaten up, tossed back into his team. Ethan picking up that kill, but a kill is a kill regardless. Force Hermit going to try to protect this bot lane turret. I believe he can. Reaper is very low health as we see Foz and Gentlewoman making their way back to the bot side, although that turret actually doesn't have that much health. He might not be able to save this one, as Mr. Hyde and Ryu are just going to go straight onto it. Yeah, only a couple shots left, so that is going to be the first turret of the game going over to Depaul. And they pick up themselves a kill in the process as well. So very nice team coordination with Reaper and Ryu.
And that first tower is absolutely critical for this game. Depaul needs to get off to the right start here. And I mean, if you're looking at top lane, it hasn't been the easiest trip so far, but they're finally able to convert on the side of the map that they are strongest on. They brought down Reaper, they brought down Ryu, and they're just ready to make a play. And that's exactly how you get this snowball going. And it's still going to be a little bit of a race against the clock. How quickly can they start to build this gold lead on the side of Depaul? But I mean, hell, this has been a great early game for them so far.
Yeah, thus far.
Except top lane. Don't look at top lane.
Yeah, top lane has been a little bit of a factor for them. Maybe a red flag, of course. Shy Cub, he's not building offensive whatsoever. He's just going to build into those defensive stats to do as much as he can for his team. Come these team fights, of course, Uber Sorcerer though is going to have his way in these team fights as well. So it's going to be very tough for Depaul's top lane to really equalize the amount of pressure that they can be thrown down. But speaking of pressure, the first Drake of the game did go over to UC Davis, and that is the Mountain Drake. So if they get to these turrets, they will have the advantage of taking out the ejectives a little bit faster, especially if there is a split push coming out. Which Darius, he's not quite known for his split pushing, but you never know.
No, he wants to be in the team fight. He definitely can put some pressure down, but this is actually a great rotation out of the Depaul squad. They were the first ones to move up to this top lane. They did get the first tower, so that does definitely help them out, but they're actually able to catch Foz and Gentlewoman when they would have been hitting that bot lane tower, denying so much damage, and this is just an all-out win for Depaul.
Yeah, taking out the turret about half health right now before Gentlewoman is able to throw a shield onto it, so very nice rotation indeed by Depaul University.
Here's Reaper.
Here's Reaper. They may just look to dive like they did on the bot side and do the exact same thing. Melos is up in the area as well, but Hero's entrance not up. Ryu is still making his way to the top side. Shy Cub and Uber Sorcerer on the bot side are continuing their eternal battle. And this is going to be possibly a gank coming out. Both junglers are waiting here. And Reaper pulls the trigger first. Melos, he's in as well. There's bullet time, not hitting too many people. But there is the Impale onto Ethan. Force Hermit with the teleport. Less bounce is not going to save the jungler of Depaul here as
Ryu has TP.
Yeah, he does, and is he going to use it? Foz actually taking out Reaper in the end there. Ryu has TP, but he's actually going to stay mid, and that is going to be all she wrote on the top side gank. Although, actually, now that I say that, Ethan is actually in trouble now as Force Hermit keeping him in place. 4 strong for UC Davis on the top side, and now that is going to be a 4v1, considering that Ryu decided just to stay mid. He's going to push down that turret, but top turret more than likely going over to UC Davis now.
Yeah, and that was such an awkward, rushed play coming out of Depaul. I mean, the setup looked perfect. They brought the 4 members up there. They had the man advantage, but then they were so split up on the fight. 2 of them went to the back line, 2 of them sit on the tower, and Ryu never actually came up, even though he had the ultimate available. He had the teleport available to Mr. Hyde, just barely making his way on the top side. But that's going to hurt them a lot, and given that they need to stay in the driver's seat this game if they want a chance.
Super Sorcerer, he's just going to tower dive this one. Has the power advantage on the top comparison there compared to Shy Cub. So Uber Sorcerer just going to decimate Shy Cub and take the turret. Very huge plays coming out from UC Davis.
This is the power of the Darius we've been waiting for ever since Conqueror came out on the 8.6 patch. It is absolutely nutty, and now that pressure he generated, along with the play on top side that went in favor for UC Davis, not only gives them that bot tower, not only gives them that kill, but also it gives them the Rift Herald. And now they have every single tool they could possibly wish for to break this game wide open. About a 3.2k gold advantage still going in the favor for UC Davis, and California squad's got to be feeling pretty good about this one.
Yeah, everything is going their way at the moment except for that first turret, but they were able to counter that with taking 2 turrets and some kills in the process. So they are quite happy with that trade, having the Rift Herald and the first Mountain Drake in their name, only losing that first turret. Looks like UC Davis, they are going to go topside, protect that topside turret, make sure they keep the advantage in the turret, in the numbers for the turret. But yeah, Uber Sorcerer, there is so much true damage that comes out from him due to Conqueror now. Darius is a big pick right now on the top side.
Yeah, and the issue that gives you, along with the rest of the scaling from the team, is you always have to keep things going, because if you ever just let off, you give time for Uber Sorcerer to rip something open on the other side of the map, and engage in the mid lane. Not going to find anything just yet, but right now, if you are Depaul, you had a great thing going. It's just 1 or 2 plays missed. Make those same plays, fix the mistakes, and they're still in good standings here. They need to make something happen.
Shy Cub has a nightmare, and it is all Darius. As he just gets dunked, he's not even able to get away. Uber Sorcerer sticking so well to Shy Cub, and Shy Cub cannot go anywhere without dying at this point.
Yeah, at this point, he has to be regretting the Volibear pick. It was a blind Volibear into the matchup while Darius was still up. I mean, I know that's... Oh, wait, not late.
Melos, he's gonna flash in, put the Ethan on the stinger, get himself some catfish for dinner, but they also... Yeah, there's... Oh, there was actually... No, Foz actually got to... stayed alive. He got eaten up by Ethan. I think that might have saved him for the bullet time, but now Ryu is on the top side with that hero's entrance. Foz gonna stay healthy. He has the shield. He's arcane shifting properly. Nice positioning by Foz to stay alive. Teleport coming up. Shy Cub, he is gonna go down once again. 5th time he has went down. 5-0-5-0. Not having a good game, and that is UC Davis running wild on Depaul.
And once again, Depaul, they have the right idea, they just missed the execution. That was a fight that started off with Melos rushing to the top side, trying to knock off Mr. Hyde. But then it was just like wave after wave of ults being mistimed coming out of the Depaul squad. And that just lets the rest of the UC Davis team roll right over on him. And now that's over a 5,000 gold lead, a lot of pressure around this map. Herald will be taking this mid tower. Dragon's up in 10 seconds. There's just nothing left. You need the perfect play at this point to come back if you're Depaul.
Yeah, you have to wonder what they need to do. Maybe thinking about game number 2 already at 17 minutes, 15 seconds. Dragon is now live. Depaul handling the Rift Herald in the mid lane. This is going to be a Cloud Drake going over to UC Davis, so the rotations are going to be a little bit faster to get that out of combat movement speed. Going to be advantageous when they want to move, make these big map plays. They've been doing a great job of it thus far. Not going to be able to protect their mid lane turret, as Mr. Hyde is going to peck that one down. They're going to disengage. Nice macro by Depaul, they have to get what they can at this point in the game.
Certainly so, and as this game goes on, that combination play that they really are relying on gets harder and harder. You still have to go into Gentlewoman. You still have to go into an Ezreal with the realm, with the arcane shift away. But every little piece of gold that they can get back, just a little bit more ammunition, a little bit more fire behind them. But right now, there's no real neutral objective to contest or even force a fight. This game is completely in control for UC Davis.
Boy.
They call the shots.
Yeah, very much so. As we saw a flash force out of ShyCub, he does not want any part of Uber Sorcerer. He learned his lesson about 4 deaths ago on that one. It's still been racking up, so he is going to try to stay safe as possible. He doesn't even have a full item built besides a Ninja Tabi, but that's not near enough to contribute to your team. And Uber Sorcerer's not done. He knows that ShyCub's ultimate flash is down. Ryu is there, though. This might be the difference maker if he can get in there. And now Reaper's there. He still gets the kill. Uber Sorcerer still taking out ShyCub. Is he going to get another one? He's going in onto Reaper, trying to get the kill. The passive is ticking down. He's still alive. There's bullet time coming out. Is he going to go down? The shields are helping him. And there's the sustain. My God. ShyCub, he's been down for so long. For tournament, picking up Ryu as well. And Uber Sorcerer coming out on top over a prolonged team fight. The sustains and the shields, so huge for him.
The 1v5 is real. You cannot put down Uber Sorcerer. And just like that, you got to think that not only the base, but the hope for this Depaul team, at least for game number 1, it's just falling apart.
Yeah, that was huge. They took out an inhibitor on the bot side. Baron is going to be up in 20 seconds. There's nothing that Depaul can really do. That was a 1v5, I believe, from Uber Sorcerer until his team got there. That was absolutely insane. Shows where the power is right now. He has a, what is that, a Spirit Visage and the Black Cleaver right now. Mercury Treads also helping him out there, of course, keeping the CC down so he can throw out those Qs on as many people as possible. We saw the amount of health that he got back coupled with that Spirit Visage. Huge, huge power for the Darius.
With no Morellonomicon, with no Executioner's Calling, he's just going to heal, and that's all he needs to do. When you're Darius in a fight, as long as you stay in that fight, you are winning the fight. And that's exactly what happened on the bot side. They sent a bunch of tanks, Ryu, Chi, and Reaper, who couldn't realistically kill the Darius, let him get up to max stacks, and then he was just going completely nuts on everybody. You need to send in the big guns first, and unfortunately, I don't even know if the big guns are big enough.
No, I don't. That's what I was going to say. I don't think the big guns. I mean, quite literally, the guns on
a bigger gun.
Yeah, quite literally, the big guns on Mr. Hyde's Misfortune are not big enough to contend with Uber Sorcerer because he's going to withstand everything that is being thrown out to him, out at him, and just run into the face of Mr. Hyde, the biggest damage dealer on the side of Depaul right now. It's a very tough situation as UC Davis moving in onto the Baron, maybe looking to catch somebody out here. Reaper, he is going to go in. You have to wonder if this is really wise, though, as we see Hero Charge not hitting anybody. Everybody on UC Davis are safe. There's the bullet time, also missing almost everybody. ShyCub, he's on the wrong side of town right now. Bad side of Chicago, he goes down. And Ryu, he is going to try to get out as fast as possible. A nice engage. Oh, well, when I came to say Depaul not even having that nice of an engage, really. They weren't able to get what they wanted.
I don't even know if they hit a single ultimate during that fight. I mean, I saw the bullet time go wide. I saw Reaper not actually able to let's bounce anyone, and I saw the heroic entrance very unheroically.
Yeah, no, that was the heroic entrance with the. I think the bullet time may have clipped somebody once, maybe before tournament.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it was not.
You got a little bit of damage on the like mouse or somebody, but
yeah, the intent.
That's not how you need it. We're talking about the only way Depaul comes back right now is with the perfect fight, and I don't think I can point out a fight that's farther from.
The intentions were there, all good, of course, for Depaul, but not quite in execution as they are going to delay this game. Wonder what they have to do in the pick and ban phase for the next game, because it is going to take a miracle for them to be able to win this one. At this point, UC Davis up over 13,000 right now. No, I can't say technically over 13,000, but they are up about 12,000 gold, 12.5.
12.1K.
Thank you. Yeah, mathematician over here. I am
got the math minor all locked
don't
up,
have time for those sorts of numbers, but thankfully you do, because we do need those right now. As I can't do basic math with the smaller numbers, 3 turrets to 6 right now. as that
Yeah,
means that UC
that's,
Davis up 3.
That's another very telling number at the moment, and Dragon coming up here in 40 seconds, but honestly, I wouldn't be shocked to see this Baron end the game right now. Nobody outside Depaul is ready to fight back, but they found Uber.
It's not going to do too much. Yeah, he just walks right out of the bullet time.
Who's engaging onto who?
Yeah,
Nellis is one very fast Garner.
Yes, he is. He's going to try to go up onto Mr. Hyde, get the Sun. Not going to be able to get Ethan. Actually eats him up, gobbles that one down, so he's going to stay safe just for the moment. But the base of Depaul not going to stay safe. UC Davis knocking out the door with a giant sledgehammer, and that means the door is actually going to be knocked down. 2 inhibitors down. They may just be moving right onto the Nexus turrets as they join or rush the bottom side turret minions into the turret. And then it means the Nexus is going to be exposed. The first Nexus turret does go down, second one following very quickly, and this is going to be game number 1 going over to UC Davis, but not after a last-ditch engage by Depaul. Are they going to be picking somebody up? No, they're not. Melos, he stays alive as the Nexus goes down.
Yeah, and there's just not much you can say about that game. Depaul, they picked a composition, very low damage, but so reliant on their playmaking. It works out for like the first 1 or 2 plays, but then plays like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It just doesn't go anywhere, and it just completely fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah, and that's essentially what happened. The Nexus no longer standing for Depaul. It might have even been a little bit damaged in the next game based on how much of a decimation they were given by UC Davis. But we're going to get started, actually get into lobby for that next game. We're looking for Depaul to really change up their picks and bans, and of course the way of play all around. Probably won't be seeing a Volibear on the top side, but we're going to see what is picked up pretty soon as we get set up for lobby. My name is Joshua Fekes Quest. I am here with Returned. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment.